What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Squawk and Seas podcast, your favorite Pokemon podcaster's favorite Pokemon podcast. And as always, my name is Kyle Cooper Rios, one of your two talking heads here on the show, where we bring a normal, every non-accomplished man's perspective to the Pokemon trading card game and everything adjacent. And I am joined, as I am every week, by my co-hosts. Usually the Pony Bottle Champ, but this week, Charizard. It's George Fabre. George.
Oh, man. The definition of a Charizard bot today, huh? Really playing the part. I don't know if you saw, I was trying to put this up top here, but I think it's going to choke me to death if I do that. So you're going to have to see my taco meat a little bit. Apologize.
Man, that threw me off for a second. I was not expecting a talk. I was not expecting that slang to enter the zeitgeist for the podcast today. But hey, man, I feel that. I'm also wearing a onesie. If you guys aren't watching on the video form this week, it's our Halloween episode, because this is the closest we're going to record an episode to Halloween. So me and George are like, hey, let's dress up in costumes. And George had a Pokemon onesie. I didn't. All I have in my closet that's a Halloween costume is this Toy Story alien onesie that I bought.
The Claw.
The Claw, yeah.
Almighty Claw. He's been chosen.
I love Toy Story. What a great movie.
Classic. I remember seeing it as a kid in the movie theaters. So
wow.
Yeah,
You're old.
I'm old.
I never saw it in theaters, but I did have Toy Story was like new-ish when I was a kid still. So I remember I had an original Woody and Buzz toy, which is really cool. So I think I still have them somewhere in my house. I don't remember where I have them, but they do exist. They are real.
Yeah. I never had any of the toys. But I know Zurg was a big thing in Toy Story 2. I was too old for when that came out. But the original Buzz Lightyear, they did have some McDonald's toys, and I did have the McDonald's Buzz Lightyear, and that was pretty cool. But you actually know what I did have? I just remembered. I had the RC race car. It was actually a remote control race car. That thing was sick, actually.
I had that too. That thing was pretty awesome. Do you remember? Oh, just quickly off topic. Do you remember back when collecting the toys in a toy set from a McDonald's promotion was a big deal? Have you ever finished a set of McDonald's toys from something before?
Not a McDonald's toys, but a lot of the Burger King stuff. Oh, well, actually, the McDonald's Batman glasses, we had all those. And then we had all of the McDonald's. They weren't Happy Meal toys. They were stuffed Looney Tune plushies for Space Jam. I had all those. I think I had majority of the full Beanie Baby set, actually. Okay, I had a lot of things. Yeah, I did a lot of things. Oh, the plates from Hercules. I had those.
I had those too.
Yeah. So yeah. That was a big thing. Honestly, probably not great for your health for eating all that fast food growing up as a child.
No. Yeah. No, it's not. I remember I think I had some of the Hercules plates. I remember vividly there was I got a bunch of the Mulan toys when Mulan was coming out in theaters around that time. I actually was able to complete 2 sets of McDonald's promotional toys. There was a Transformers set of toys that came out where if you got all 6 of the toys, they combine into a big stupid looking Transformer.
That's sick.
Which was sick. And then I had it was back when the live action Inspector Gadget was a thing.
Those toys were sick too because they all went together, right, to make one.
Yeah, they were all individually. They were all separate parts of a toy, but when you put them all together, they made a yay size tall Matthew Broderick, which was very funny at the time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That might still be in my house somewhere. I don't remember where that is, but my God, it was creepy.
That might be money.
Sure. We'll see what happens. It's probably lost in the crevices of my house, like most of the things that are worth anything in my collection. But yeah, we got if you guys can't already tell, it's gonna be a weird episode this week. It was a bit of a slower news week. There wasn't anything, but we do have a good amount of things to talk about. We got some new cards revealed. There are some big tournaments in Asia this weekend, and we can talk about. And we're currently in an era where Surging Sparks cards exist in the wild. This is my pre-release kit that I got from last week, and we'll talk about all of that. But I'll start the episode as I start every episode. George, how's your week going so far?
It's the last week of the month for October, so sales, it's like a mad rush. And my team decided to put all their deals in after 5 o'clock today. So when I was texting you earlier that I was going to go take a nap, I literally just thought I was done. And then right before this, another person put a deal in. So good things. It's good things, but I have a feeling league tomorrow is going to be annoying for me. So it is what it is. How about you, man? How was your day today?
Today was a little weird. It was it was quite the busy day at my job today. I don't work in like sales the way that you work in sales. I work in wholesale and stuff in a car dealership. So
Yeah.
today was a little crazy because what we were one guy called out sick today, so my boss and I kind of spent the majority of our day just fighting for our lives, and stuff was just kind of going haywire left and right. The Yankees are down 3-0 against the Dodgers in a World Series, and they could possibly get swept tonight. So I'm pretty sad about that.
Bring out the brooms.
I hope not.
Why
But
not?
sure, I'm dead on the inside at this point. It
Yeah,
doesn't really
just rip the
matter to me
band-aid
anymore.
off at
So
this point. It's over.
honestly, yeah. Then I can start focusing on other things like more sports that can hurt me. But no, other than that, the week's been fine. It's been very again crazy stuff. End of the month, just trying to get all my ducks in a row for um you know the following week. But we're doing all right over here.
Nice.
I know you a little bit busy last week. I did not see you last week for Pokemon. You took a little bit of a break.
Feels like it's been a month. It's been like 1 week. I feel like I haven't played in forever. I just had a coaching session though with the great Henry Brand, and I sleeved up an old friend today, Kyle. An old
Yeah,
friend.
yeah. You were talking that Gardevoir was something that you sleeved up recently. Gar-
It's in consideration for the Toronto Regional Championships. Will it be a
yeah,
good consideration? That's what we'll see. I'll probably end up playing the guy on my head here, but we shall see.
you know,
Probably between those two.
it's so funny watching you prep for something that's like a little bit over is a month away. Like we still haven't gotten. We're still technically in October, and Toronto's not till December, and there's still like 3 tournaments in between, like now in Toronto. So like George is like, if you haven't been keeping up, George has been trying to cook real hard for Toronto, as if people aren't going to do the work for him already. Because by the time Toronto comes around, we're probably gonna have a pretty good idea what's going to be good or not. So
But but here's the thing: I need to get familiar with what I think I'm going to play starting now. So then, when I lock in whatever modifications we're making to the 60, I know the base deck inside and out. That's the way I look at things.
that's valid. I think that's a good way to approach things. So, but we'll see if things shake up from now till then. I haven't looked at much of what Gardevoir gains or doesn't gain
Nothing.
in the next set. Yeah, so it seems pretty samey. But the results from what I've seen on like Pokebooks see that Gardevoir is seeing a lot of play right now, and I think we will talk maybe a little bit more about that in a bit. But hopefully, if anyone can crack that thick skull of yours, it's 2019 World Champion, Henry Brand. What is the
He's a
best
great
coach in the
coach.
biz?
I'll tell you what, he's very patient with my dumb thoughts. So he's like, well, why are you thinking about doing that, man, mate? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm paying you.
I don't know. I'm an idiot. Like, I feel like anyone that has to like put up with how scatterbrained your thought process is sometimes, they have to have like the patience of a saint or a doctorate degree. So
Yeah, no, he's really good, and he gives you notes as well, and it's good to reflect back on it, especially like before you go play a challenge or something. You could like check out what you learned, and I'm trying to do every 2 weeks with him going up till Toronto, so I could be prepared because one of my goals this year for me was to make a day two of a regional, and we still have one more month to get that goal checked off of my list. So
You talk like you're going to go to the chair and you're not going to go to any regionals next year. Bro, the
no, but
season just
this
started.
year, no,
Oh,
all right,
I get what you're trying to say.
yeah,
Calendar year.
calendar year, yeah,
Okay.
exactly,
I get it.
exactly,
I
not the
understand now.
season,
I was going to say,
yeah,
like, what are you,
okay.
dying?
So I should preface like I have um I right on like I'm looking at it right now. I have a sticky note that I put up at the beginning of the year. Every year, I write down my goals with my handwriting and I read them. And I have done none of them. First one is learn Spanish. I still don't know Spanish. Yo entiendo poquito, para yo hablo muy mal. And then be a top performer monthly. My team has not been that. Lose 20 pounds and maintain it. I think I've added 20 pounds. Travel to a new country. I haven't been. I went to Mexico again this year, and then make day two of a regionals, and that's the last one there. And I feel like the only shot I got right now because I don't think I'm learning Spanish anytime between now and the end of December.
Can Henry also teach you how to speak Spanish?
I
Can you
don't know.
just
I
like
should ask him. I should ask him.
Can we just like double team this? Hey man, listen, you have a goal set for yourself, and I think we've established this. When it comes to the moment, we all practice very very hard. So I think with enough. Once guys get into the thick of things for practicing, I'm sure you guys are gonna see the results that you so desperately seek, and you guys are gonna crush it. I won't be there, but I will.
I
I'll be
know.
there in
I'm
spirit.
I'm
So
still very sad about that though. I got to be honest.
I'll be fine. It's
Where
fine.
where you're my travel buddy, man. It's not going to be the
I
same.
know somebody's got to corral you. Oh, while
Yeah. The
so
group we're going with too is a little rowdy, and I'm actually supposed to be the adult, and that's very scary. So, yikes.
yeah, I'm seizing that one.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. But oh man, but yeah. So George, you spent no time this week playing Pokemon. You were not available for our Wednesday night league in Clifton, or you weren't there on Friday for the pre-release. So
Yeah. Very
um,
sad that I missed the pre-release. To be honest with you, how was it? How was the
it was
turnout?
fun. It was fun. We had a little bit of a smaller turnout than we usually do. I think we had like a little less than 20 people. There was like 18 people. Um, it's late. It's hard, and I think the timing of it all was also kind of like tough because usually, for the midnight pre-release we do at Highlander, one of the other shops by us, we do a challenge into the pre-release, and most of the time the people that are there for a challenge are going to stay for the pre-release anyway. That starts at midnight. This week we didn't do that. I don't think we had a proper like. If there was like league proper, I wasn't sure. I showed up late because I went to the movies on Friday.
Oh, what'd you
Um,
see?
I went to go see We Live in Time. Is
How,
the
how was it?
It was phenomenal. It's an A24 produced film, so big fan of what they do. And it has Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh in it, and I enjoy both of their work separately. So when I saw they were going to be in a movie together, I'm like, I'm there. It was delightfully British, and I had a wonderful time. It was very very good.
Is it
So
a rom com?
yeah, it's like
Oh,
it's a dramatic romance, bit with some comedic bits in it. But
I
it's a dramatic film.
I love me a good rom com. I'll tell you what, pal. I might have
It
to
was
go
good.
watch that.
They have great chemistry together. I've been watching a lot of their press kits on social media, and they have great chemistry together. Andrew Garfield is just so charming, and Florence Pugh is one of the most gorgeous women I've ever laid eyes on the screen. And if she hit me with her car, I'd also want to marry her. So a little foreshadowing, but yeah, so I showed up
Spoilers.
late on Friday. So we ended up playing GLC most of the night.
I know I missed that too, man.
Yeah, we didn't do anything like we didn't do like anything like serious. I think it was just whoever wanted to play. We just kind of played with what we had. So I played I think a game because the only thing about GLC that is which I think is one of the perks to it is that it is long you are playing like, you're taking 6 full prizes of Pokemon in most cases. So it is going to be a little long in the tooth, especially when you're playing against people that like don't know the rules or like, don't understand what every card in their deck does, like me. But I had a good time. I think GLC is a format that I've kind of been like a little weary of because I wasn't like, it's one of those things where I don't know, like, what the best entry point for me is. But now that I've gotten myself a little bit more familiar with how the format works. I know what cards are good. I know what cards should be, what should be staples at any deck that I have. And I've been just doing a little bit of looking around for like decks that I like. There's a colorless bird deck that I think is really cool. So it gives me the opportunity to play Lugia and Archeops for the rest of my life. So it's an out for me to do that, which I think is very fun.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I actually watched because I had a little FOMO about it, and I watched a really long video on demand from Tricky Jim with like a 3 deck conquest that he did, and that was pretty cool. But man, it seems really long, and yeah, I don't know.
It's a
It's a
lot.
good format. Could I play more than like 2 games? I probably would not want to, but yeah, I'm with you.
I think it's one of those things where it's just like that's not so because like whenever we're like playing Pokemon for long stretches of time, like we'll like to like switch decks with each other. Like you'll play Lugia, I'll play Charizard. Like we'll just like play whatever other decks the other guys have on them
Yeah,
because we're just so like that's easy to do because we play so much standard. We understand what the jumping into those sort of deck archetypes is not hard for us. I think when it comes to GLC, because the card pool is so vast and every deck is so incredibly different, that it's hard to just kind of jump in and play like 2 games of GLC because you're spending like 60% of your time reading the cards, and then you're also trying to like figure out like, okay, what do I have available to me? Like, what is this? Do I have all my spread cards? Do I have the evolutions I need to make this work? Because you're playing a singleton format, naturally you're gonna prize 6 one of cards in your deck, so it's important to kind of figure that stuff out. So I think once you understand a deck that like if you play a deck for a long time in that, I think that rewards you because you understand your outs and your plays to to victory a little bit easier. So that's why I think we'd get more enjoyment out of it if we had decks of our own and we could just play whenever we want. Like
right.
so.
Yeah, I mean, I do love the water deck. That thing is broken. Shady Dealings is broken. So
Good card.
good card.
Good card. But speaking of good cards, we do have some Pokemon stuff to report on this week, but I don't want to blow past the pre-release. I entered the pre-release. I did terrible as I usually do.
Nice.
I'm not good in sealed formats. I don't understand how to construct a deck out of 40 cards. It's lost on me. I do not know what I'm doing.
Well, because you're a copy homework guy.
Yeah, I'm not a cook. I'm a passenger. I do not pilot the plane. However, we did do the midnight pre-release, and I got Magneton
There it
as my
is.
promo card. So
Boom.
yeah, yeah, we're thanks, Big Justice.
Chocolate chip cookie.
I just want to go on a limb and say that every video I've seen of the Costco guys has been against my will.
That's
And
not good. You know they were on Jimmy Fallon.
I saw the whole interview and I cringed the whole time.
Yikes.
Wild stuff. But yeah, I got the Magneton deck, which is the one that I wanted. I don't really go into these pre-releases like expecting to win. Like it is fun because we do get an extra pack per win at the pre-release. So that's always it entices you to want to win the game, but like it's just a lot of draw, attach, pass. Like it's very just like slow, arduous games. But I just really wanted to get the Magneton, so I at least have a playable set of Magneton cards for if I choose to play a deck with that. So I have my
Very
and
cool.
I got the promo one, which looks cool. So I got that. My polls were okay. I pulled the SAR execute, and I pulled a Tatsugiri EX from my box packs. And for my 3 packs I got at the end of the night for when you enter, I got a Hydreigon EX. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, I didn't really pull a lot of cards that synergize well with each other. Like when you end up playing, like, because they give you obviously like the 40 card constructed deck. Like when you're playing like 38 of the cards you got in the sealed box, you're in for a bad time. I basically changed close to nothing in my deck, because I got a Magneton, Gouging Fire deck, which this card unironically actually would go really well in a Fire GLC deck, because that's the second attack is very good. I will say you did get some pretty good, decent cards in the pack you got. They gave you an Earthen Vessel and a Night Stretcher, and both of those cards are like oddly expensive because they're like uncommon, like weird cards. So it's cool to get just a free one of those in a pack. They gave you an Explorer's Guidance, which is cool. There's a Lacey in here if you want to use that.
Night Stretchers, man. I need like 50 more, I think.
Yeah, I might have to do a bulk buy of those at some point. But it was fun. I got pretty fatigued at the end of the night because obviously you're playing 30-minute rounds in a pre-release, so we didn't get done till like 2 o'clock. And I did what I usually do in a pre-release. I start 0-2, and then I just drop the last round so I can just go on with my night. That's usually what I end up doing. But I had a good time. I don't know if will I do another one? Maybe. Depends on depends on how bored I am. But I had fun. I think I always like doing like the one pre-release at midnight. I think it's very, very entertaining.
The real question is, did anybody pull the SAR Master Pikachu EX?
Somebody did.
Oh,
Somebody did.
Cracked.
And as in typical Kyle fashion, it was a guy like 2 seats down from me.
Oh,
so, yeah,
it's a pretty card.
It is very pretty. The people that are trying to sell it on eBay for $300 are insane and should be shot into the sun. But because that card's going to be like, I don't know, maybe $50, and when it's all said and done,
maybe 20.
Maybe. I remember my roommate pulled the gold Charizard from our pre-release, and we tried being those guys like selling it online for like an insane amount of money, and I think that card is like maybe like $20 right now. I'm gonna look it up right now. No, it was the gold one.
That's the gold one.
Is that the gold? Oh, I couldn't see with the camera quality. Yeah, that is the gold one.
But this is the better one, right?
Yeah, that is. I think that one's still like pretty expensive. Let me actually look at it on TCG Player right now. So, as of the gold Charizard market price is $20.
Yep.
Let's see. The money one right now is the Paldean Fates shiny SAR. That card market is like $125.
Yeah, the shiny one is it's the most expensive Charizard.
Yeah, and the market price one for the SAR illustration from Obsidian Flame is like $56. So about $60.
Yeah, is this Lucia's Appeal? That card's probably a lot of money too, right?
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be one of the expensive chase cards. Somebody did pull that at our pre-release after the fact. I think they got it in their like the 3 you get afterwards. Also, we lied. The most expensive Charizard EX is the 151 one. That one's close to like $200 right now.
151. But that's going to go down again because aren't they reprinting for Christmas?
They are reprinting, yeah. So that's probably going to go down. I sold this card for like $120 when I pulled it, so should have held on to it. Dumb call.
Live and you learn.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a couple. Our buddy Chris Gonzalez, GLC God, pulled a Pikachu EX. I pulled a Tatsugiri EX. It was funny. I know a couple of Ace Specs got pulled. One guy sitting at the table next to me pulled the Megaton Blower, which in the pre-release format, I guess is fine because like a lot of the decks that you got had like Luminous and like Reversal Energy. So I mean, it is what it is. I just show up for the free packs. I'm guaranteed to get at least 6 packs at the end of the night. That's all I wanted. So, But I did. It was fun. I always enjoy doing the pre-releases. I'm just excited now that and if your store's in a pre-release program, they get the product for the next set a week earlier. So possibly this Friday, there should be a Surging Sparks product for sale at Highlander Games. Most likely,
Nice.
maybe. And
Um,
that's how that works.
you know, one card. I don't know if you got this, but it's a supporter from this set that I thought was pretty good. Surfer. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. It's kind of like Bird Keeper, if you
You
remember.
mean this guy?
That guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that came in the pre-constructed 40. Yeah, this card is nifty. I think any sort of draw support is not bad, and it's a good pivot card. So it's a pivot draw is like never bad. I did pull another interesting card. I got the Lively Stadium out of one of my packs that gives 30 HP to basic Pokemon. So
Mm.
could find some play in certain big basic archetypes. I think Raging Bolt was probably one of the ones that people circled as like, ooh, this might be good in a deck like this.
The problem with those though is it doesn't help you on your turn,
No.
so it could easily get bumped. You know.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I guess we can use this as like a piggyback. We were going to talk about some of the Surging Spark stuff coming up. That is, we haven't really dedicated much time to the set outside of just talking about some of the new cards that are coming out. We've gotten a little bit of more concrete stuff in from Japan because they just got the rest of this set last week, so we have about like a week's worth of results from Japan. But George, is there any of these cards that are catching your eye? Anything that you're interested in? Um, that looked good to you off out of the riff here.
Slacking EX
I'm into it.
seems like it could be a um, Iron Thorns killer.
That card just reads good. I don't think it's that bad of a card. I haven't seen many deck lists from Japan that have like cooked with it yet. I've seen like a couple of concept lists, but if you're not familiar, Slacking EX, it's got 340 HP, which is a lot. It has the ability. I think it's called Born to Slack, is how it translates. You can't attack unless your opponent has a Pokemon V or an EX in play. I believe is how it reads. So great. So, in very specific situations, like you're almost always going to be able to get an attack off of that card because every card plays like some version of an EX or a V card right now. So, and for 2 colorless energy, you do Great Swing. It does 280 damage. You have to discard an energy from that Pokemon. So, energy efficient attack. I've seen lists that play it with the Fan Rotom to help get out your Slack Offs and other Pokemon. I think it's some concepts I've seen through the grapevine, or it's basically like it's the classic Arvin engine deck. You play Luminion, you play Rotom, you play Forest Sealstone, all the really good item and tool cards, and I think the card reads very well. For a double turbo energy, you can power it up. Granted, you have to discard it, which kind of stinks, but I don't know. I agree with you. I think that card is interesting in concept, and I think somebody is gonna figure that one out.
Yeah. Um, Other than that, the Palisand DX
I
seems
don't.
pretty
Did I
cool.
pull one of those? I did not pull one of those. Someone around me did.
Stage 1, Psychic type, Terra, 280 HP. For triple colorless, Sand Tomb is doing 160. During your opponent's next turn, defending Pokemon can't retreat. So, always locking in the active and having to use a switch card is good. And then for water psychic fighting, put damage on each of your opponent's Pokemon until its remaining HP is 100.
Not bad. I think it being a stage one is interesting. I just don't know what deck's gonna like make good use of a card like that, unless it's just gonna be in its own engine. But I don't know. It seems like a lot of pieces. It's very similar to like how the Flygon works, where you just put damage counters on your opponent's like rule box Pokemon, or in this case, it just does it to everyone. I don't know. We'll see if that sees into fruition.
Yeah.
personally think the Tatsugiri is very funny. I don't know if you've seen many of these deck lists or not, but a
Hmm.
lot of the ones I'm seeing are utilizing that second attack from from Tatsugiri EX, the Cinnabar lore, where you look at the top 10 cards of your deck and you can put any Pokemon you find there on your bench in any order you like. And the way that the deck works is that you play, 3 copies of the Tatsugiri, uh, and then you just play all the broken Pokemon. Like it's playing Hydreigon. This one list I'm looking at is playing Pidgeot. It's playing the new Togekiss, where if you take a prize card, you flip coins, and you can take an extra prize card. So I think it's. I watched a Tricky Gym video that was talking about how this deck functions, and he called it a content creator deck, and I'm here for it. I think it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, obviously, there's going to be cards that are going to be different, and have different value. I should say once we get more cards revealed. But again, that Lily's Clefairy card would not be printed if dragon types weren't going to be overpowered, and Reggie Drago is eventually going to rotate. So, is this a new way to play a dragon type deck where you can look at your top 10 cards and get your dragons out?
It's interesting. I think the card it's both the worst card I've ever seen and the best card I've ever seen because it's so funny. I think we need more whimsical and silly Pokemon cards like this because this is just memes, and I'm into that. Um, One card, however, I think that's kind of surprised me with how much I enjoy it as a concept. Uh, is it's gonna sound boring. I think Pikachu looks really good.
Yeah.
Um, I think I was very curious of how this deck was going to function. I think what I like about this is that it's very flexible in a bunch of different deck archetypes. You can play it. It's proven to be viable by itself, but it's also proven to be a good cog in a machine for other decks. So you're seeing it fit seamlessly into things like if you want to go the area zero route with Miraidon, it's a much better Terra type Pokemon in that deck than Mewtwo EX is. If you want, at this card is seeing play in the Azumarill single prize deck, because it is now the most difficult Pokemon EX to knock out. So I find that interesting. But the build that's been fascinating to me is this build with Blissey EX. Basically, the concept is that you play this with like things like the Power Glass, TM Turbo Energize to help get your energies into play. You evolve into Blissey, and then you Blissey the energy onto the Pikachu. I think the deck has a lot of flexibility, and it plays the new A spec card, the Precious Trolley, that lets you get all your basics out. So I think that build of the deck has seemed very interesting to me. Um,
Yeah, but I think that card's really good. I think the other, the Hydreigon you said before, I think that card's going to be very good. It's going to be playable. And then the other EX, the other two EXs I like are the Cerulege.
Cerule, there you go. You're
Did I
doing
say
good.
it? I
You
got
got it.
it.
Yeah,
Um,
Cerulege, you got there.
yeah, so I mean that's going to be playable. The Melodic EX is interesting for a control type a deck, but I think Kyle, the best card in the set, hands down, is got to be the Latias EX. That's going to be in every single deck.
Yeah, no, that card is very very good. I think that's gonna help out a lot of just these decks that play these big basics with like chunky retreat costs. So like decks like Miraidon are gonna play cards. Eladias, Raging Bolt can easily play it. Can play that. So that's gonna be a really good support Pokemon for sure. I mean, it's going to be fun to see how these new cards kind of shake things up. Um, and I think we are going to get some legitimate like new archetypes in this deck. I don't know if we're going to get like a new tier 1 deck out of this. I just don't think I think the V Star cards are just going to continue to be very very good until they rotate out.
Yeah,
Because Reggie Drago doesn't really Reggie Drago doesn't change, so that deck stays about the same. Lugia I think is like about the same, maybe like slightly worse, but like it depends on how good Miraidon is. But then if Miraidon is good, then Charizard becomes good again. But even then, I don't even think Miraidon becomes like that bad into Charizard anymore, because what I like about Miraidon now is, thanks to the Magneton, you're not a complete albatross of a card going. You're not a complete albatross of a deck going first. You know, you can establish the Magnemites, you can get your stage ones into play, and then that helps you on your second turn going forward. So I think that card gives Miraidon a little bit more added flexibility. Um, so I'm excited to see how that kind of shakes things up again. But in terms of new archetypes, I think it's like Pikachu, it's like Cerulege to an extent, and Arcaludon, but I think that's about it for like what's on the surface really good right now. We'll
Yeah,
have to see if everything else can catch up.
I'm with you. I mean, listen, I think it's a good set though, right?
Yeah.
But we did have some tournaments going on this weekend. Not too much to say about them, so I don't know if we got to spend too much time. But we did have the Premier Ball League over in the Philippines. Your boy, the GOAT, the one that provides, Lugia, brought it home. Then, my Charizard also came in second, was 7-0 in the tournament up until the finals. Had a Roaring
Yeah.
Moon, Regidrago, Palk Dustnor, Terapagos, Raging Bolt, Palk Dustnor. That rounded out your top eight. Not too much surprises there, right? That's kind of what the format's at.
Yeah, this seems pretty chalked for the most part. A lot of these deck lists aren't available. And a lot of the information coming out of the Premier Ball League was very scarce, but we do have at least the finishing results thanks to Pokestats. There is a Goldingo that finished in top 16, so that's always cool. I love that guy. And yet Lugia continues to be just a good deck. You know, we can assume that there was an Archeops and a Lugia in it. But speaking of Lugia, there's another big tournament this weekend in China. They had I believe it was the, how is it advertised? Let me look up. I gotta get the exact wording right. But there was a 6,000 person tournament in China this weekend, um, which it was properly called the Chinese Master League competition. It's over 6,000 players, and it's already very entertaining. Like learning about how China's meta is different than ours. They're still playing with like Mew VMAX and like Urshifu VMAX. They're still playing with like, broken Lugia. They just got Lugia in their format this past year, so they're basically like locked in time in the past. And they also are missing some like key cards. From what we confirmed over the weekend, they're missing cards like Radiant Greninja. They're missing Sableye. Uh, I don't think they have Forest Sealstone yet either.
Mm,
Um,
no,
because I
they
don't think,
didn't.
yes. So yeah, there's just you can basically play Silver Tempest Lugia in China, and Mew VMAX if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of the tournament, a lot of day two. It was just really fun to watch, to be honest. Seeing that format again, amazing rares and Lugia are just so stupid. It's just so dumb. Why was
They're
that
pretty
ever a
dumb.
thing? Why was that ever a thing? Raikou in that deck is just criminal, honestly.
Not just like Raikou, the Yveltal that can just knock out your opponent's active. Like that is so stupid. Like that is so not okay.
Yeah, and then I saw a lot of people teching in the Daraludon VMAX, which I forgot that was like the Lugia killer back in the day. Um, I saw someone playing it in Lost Box with like Espeon VMAX, and they used the Eternatus VMAX. And then a lot of the comments on the stream, because I was watching like a Zool stream, was like, "Why did we not play Eternatus VMAX?" And everybody's like, "Because the card stinks." Like, it's a bad card, you know. And I'm like, yeah, that card was never good, but I guess in like a Lost Box, they kind of it's funny just to see in a format that was already figured out what they came up with and what did well. Um, but speaking of the format, like we kind of know all that already, and we knew what was going to be good. The way the tournament was set up was the most bizarre thing, right?
Yeah, that's the thing I wanted to kind of focus on for this bit, because if guys want more details on what's going on here, Jake Gearhart made a thread on Twitter talking about how the process works. So the way that China's play structure works is that each round is a 35-minute best of one asynchronized synchronous rounds. So what that means is you play a best of one for 35 minutes, and then you enter a queue and get automatically paired into somebody else with a similar record, and you advance on by having enough elo to make it on to the next day. So theoretically, you can play up to like 20 rounds of Pokemon or something like that. Like I think, Tord Reklev was the guy we were following for most of the weekend as like one of the big players that was there. And so I think Tord had to go like, I think Tord went like 7-1 on day one or something like that.
Yeah. I think he went AO actually.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah, I had his Twitter up here just a second
And
ago.
he
So
was like, okay, I think AO is enough. And I think they kind of figured out that AO was enough. But you know what was also crazier about that? You could have played rounds in leagues that counted before that. Did you know that?
I just read up on that. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So weird. But I guess they knew it was going to be a lot. I mean, it's just crazy to think that China didn't have Pokemon TCG for as long as they did, and the hype was real. The hype was very, very real for them. So,
Yeah, I think as people continue to talk about the current tournament structure and how to make things better, I think it's fun looking from the outside in on these sort of like different styles of play. I know
yeah.
there's some very vocal people about how they think that best of three is the death of Pokemon. And that people feel like that the old tournament structure was better. And again, we're only like a handful of regionals into this season, so we don't really have a huge sample size to pick from. But I do find the concept of just like playing rounds continuously, just constantly pairing into somebody, or there's like very little downtime. I think that's very interesting at the very least.
Sounds bizarre.
It sounds strange. I don't know
Yeah.
how I'd feel about that. It feels a lot like speed dating.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, someone also said it. I don't know where I heard it, but it was like pretty much just like imagine you were in an IRL like Pokemon ladder, and you were just like getting pairings like whenever you wanted to start. If you had to go to the bathroom or something, you obviously didn't start it yet, but you started the match once you're ready. You got paired up. That was pretty. It's honestly pretty sophisticated when you think about it. To have
Yeah.
that database and then for it to know what tables are open and everything, like that is pretty impressive stuff. That happened over at China. Will this ever be the norm, Kyle? Do you think that this could ever be something that you see in North America or Europe taking over?
I doubt it. I feel like Pokemon has moved past the point where it's so hard to tell. They from my friends that I talked to that played forever ago, that played in like a best of one format. That now playing best of three. I feel like it'd be one of those things where it's like I don't really know. Um, I don't think it'll ever get adapted to the States. Truthfully, I think they're gonna. I think the way that we play now is the way that we're going to play for the foreseeable future. But I think it would be fun to like experiment at like at a local league or something like that. I think that's stuff's. I mean, we're going to play best of ones at locals anyway, so it's like that really doesn't make a
Yeah,
difference. But maybe
I
we'll
could
see.
s- I could see them doing like maybe a special event in like North America or Europe where maybe it's like a cash prizing and not sanctioned event, and they have like this kind of elo pairing just to like test it out and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I would like to go.
I do.
I would like to try it. Is what I'm
You want to
saying.
go to China? Let's go.
No, I don't want to go to China, but 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 I would like to try this way of a tournament because I hate waiting in between rounds more than anything. So
Yeah, that does stink. I feel like the tournament organizers have gotten better about doing that. I feel like the downtime between rounds at Baltimore wasn't that bad. And even when like I was like waiting with you guys at NAIC, I didn't feel like that the downtime was that bad for a tournament of that size. But there have been times where I'm just like, man, it's really taken a while for this round to wrap up. Like,
yeah,
this feels tight. But hey, man, we'll see what happens. There's plenty of Pokemon to be played. And speaking of Pokemon, we do have an official name for the special set coming out in January, or actually, it's coming out in December in Japan. So it was a set that was trademarked all the way back in June, but we got Japan's special set officially named. Terrastial Festival EX has been officially revealed. Um, they're getting this in December as a special set. I find it very interesting. I found some of the stuff interesting in this Poke Beach article that I'm reading from, that they're getting a special hollow foil. In these card packs, you're getting 10 cards in a pack versus 5. If you've ever opened a Japanese set of Pokemon cards, you only get 5 cards in a pack. So they're upping that to 10. And they're also getting
Yeah,
a bunch of the different like promo cards, which I think is cool.
yeah. I think it's supposed to be like the sets that were kind of like Crown Zenith, but the Japanese version.
Yeah.
I forget what that was called. And like, well, they had like the VMAX decks. You know what I mean? The
Yeah, I
VMAX.
think I just talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right? What are those called?
Yes.
VMAX Spectacular or something?
I forget what the name of the product's called,
Yeah.
truthfully. But they are going to be getting a lot of the promo cards that we didn't get, and like these like weird like tin collections and stuff like that.
Well, this Ogrepon is going to be the one that like we're going to get, right, in the Ogrepon um, collection box.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on
Okay.
today.
No, it's all good. Yeah, the last thing I said was talking about like the promo cards that they're getting.
Yeah, the Ogrepon is, I think, the same one we're getting in that collection box, right?
Yeah, the one that comes out in November. And I even see here in the article they have like there's like the Iron Thorns promo. There's the Iron Bundle that was a pre-release promo. So I think it's just a way for them catching up to get these like exclusive cards for the most part. But they're getting some new cards in here as well. We only know there's 4 cards listed here. In my opinion, only 2 of them are worth talking about. The first one being a new Eevee EX. There's going to be an Eevee. There's going to be a whole bunch of Eevees revealed in this set. So this set's probably going to be a money set when it comes out in America. So and it's going to be a special set. So make sure you invest in your sealed product if you're one of those guys. But yeah, we got the Eevee EX here. It's a 200 HP basic colorless Pokemon. It is a stellar type. It has the ability Rainbow DNA. You can play Pokemon EX that evolve from Eevee onto this Pokemon. And it has for a water, lightning, and a fire energy. You do Quartz Shine for 200 damage. I've been trying to figure out how this ability works. I don't. I still don't understand like what this is supposed to like mean.
I think it just means that it can evolve, like where Pikachu couldn't evolve into Raichu EX. You know what I mean? If they
Right.
printed one. So I think this is just like another Eevee that you can play. But the regular base,
okay, that makes sense. So.
yeah, but the regular basic Eevee is just so broken because you can evolve on the first turn you play it. So I don't know why I don't know if that's a good ability or not.
I guess maybe it's because like I guess it's one of those things where like this is just a little bit more of a beefier Pokemon than that. So and you don't have to like commit an energy to it. The Pokemon just has to be in play, which I think is fine. But we don't have any confirmation. We don't have a reveal of any new EVs yet, except for one. They reveal a Flareon EX, 270 HP, stage 1. It for a fire and a colorless energy, it does burning charge, does 130, and you search your deck for the 2 basic energy cards and attach them to a Pokemon. And then for a water, lightning, fire energy, you do Carnelian, 280 damage, can't attack the next turn. Very classic fire type Pokemon attack.
There's no way that's the actual name of the tech.
That's what it's called. So I don't know if you've caught on yet, George. The stellar Terra type Pokemon, they all have if they have more than one attack, they have one attack that's a very normal name, and then their second attack has a gemstone in it because these Pokemon are they're the concept of the Terra Pokemon is that they're like I guess they have
Oh.
they have like the giant gemstones coming out of their heads. So if you caught on already, you look at like the stellar uh like Cerulege, for example. Its second attack is Raging Amethyst. Amethyst is a type of gemstone, or Topaz Bolt. Also a type of gemstone. Carnelian is a semi-precious stone that is typically brownish red in color, so it looks just like what Flareon looks like. So I think we can expect
Mm.
all of the evolutions to have attacks that have gemstones based off of them. So
I
I think
wouldn't
that's
take you for being a gemologist.
I love rocks. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
guess so.
excited. I mean, I guess that means if there's a Leafeon, maybe there'll be, and they're picking some really weird ones. I think it's why am I blanking on its name? Oh my god, Galvantula EX. Its second attack, the gemstone that its second attack is based off of. It's a gemstone that's only formed in like deserts when like lightning strikes sand. It's really cool. I like the lore behind that stuff.
How do you
So
know all this stuff? Have you looked it up, or you
I
just
just do
know
my
this?
research. I just did my research of
Okay.
most of this stuff because, like, I mean, I know what amethyst is. Like, I know what topaz is. I've taken geology in school, so I know what most of that stuff is already.
I failed science a lot of times, so I got no idea, man. Over
You
my
got
head.
time, man.
I don't think so.
But
I don't think it's over.
yeah, you got any opening thoughts on Eevee and Flareon here?
No, overhyped set. Overhyped set. I think both those cards are bad. I don't know. I don't like them. You like them?
I like Eevee. Flareon's not my favorite of the evolutions, but
Yeah,
I'm sure
Flareon's
one
kind
of
of
these
whack.
cards are going to be broken. Flareon is kind of
Did
whack.
did
It's tough.
did you ever evolve into a Flareon? Hell no, right?
No, because traditionally, in terms of like the evolutions in game, Flareon is always the worst one
Yeah,
because
it's horrible.
I'm gonna geek out for a second of Pokemon knowledge. So for those of you guys that don't know, Pokemon's attacks differ between special and physical, and forever, fire was strictly until they changed it in Diamond and Pearl. The type of attack your Pokemon did was based strictly off of the type of Pokemon it was. So, grass Pokemon were all physical attackers, and fire Pokemon were all special attackers. And Flareon, his highest attacking stat was attack. So Flareon was basically useless as an attacking Pokemon for a long time. And then, even after they changed over, Flareon didn't learn any good physical fire moves until like in much later in games. Like it didn't. I don't think it learned how to. I don't think it was able to learn Flare Blitz until like Gen like 7 or Gen 8. It was something stupid. And Flare Blitz is
And
like
there's
the
just so
best
much
physical
better.
offensive fire attack.
Yeah, there's just so much better fire Pokemon too in the first two generations.
Yeah, you just have way
So
better choices. Me personally,
Jolteon.
I've always been an Espeon. Yeah, yeah, of course. I've always been an Espeon guy. Any game where I get to use Espeon, I usually will opt to do so. So I'm a big Espeon fan.
Well, in Gens 1 and 2 as well, there wasn't really a lot of good lightning attackers, really, that you could get early on in the game. So, like, um, I guess you play Misty early, so it doesn't really matter. I guess you get Pikachu, but Raichu. Yeah, Vaporeon's probably the best, actually, to
Well,
evolve
Vaporeon's always
into.
been good because it's tanky. Like
It's
it takes a lot
fast.
of hits. No, actually, it's not. It's not. Jolteon's the
Oh,
fastest of the
Jolteon's
ones.
fast. Yeah,
So
Jolteon's fast.
yeah, like Vaporeon's got like typical water Pokemon stuff where it's got a lot of HP and it's bulky. So like it takes a lot of hits. I'm excited to see what the rest of these EV cards look like. At least one of them is going to be very good. And I guess technically we have the Sylveon that exists already, but like Sylveon kind of sucks in my opinion. So I don't know. I'm pulling for a playable Leafeon card. How about that? Like that guy's cool.
I love Leafeon. He's my favorite, or it's my
Bold
favorite.
choice.
I love
I'm a
Leafeon.
fan. I'm a fan. So
Leaf
we'll
Blade,
see.
broken
And
heart.
Pretty good, pretty good. But yeah, man, I'm sure as we learn more about the set, we'll we'll talk more about it. We only got just like the bare bones here. But yeah, we'll get there. I think we're probably. I think they said we're gonna get this set in like January or February. I think is from what I understand, but don't quote me on that. I might be wrong.
Yeah. I'm again. I don't know. I'm not too excited for it right now, but I'm more
We'll get
concerned
there.
with surging sparks and what that format's going to look like. That's too far in advance for me to really think about.
Yeah, we got time to focus on this. That being said, though, it's now time for everybody's favorite part of the show. Everybody's favorite this or that question game, Squawk or Seize, where George and I ask each other alternating this or that questions, and if we either squawk it because we really like it, we want to scream to the top of our lungs about how much we love this certain thing, or we seize it, we discard, we draw fresh sticks. Now, we're at the end of our Halloween extravaganza here, George, and we've kind of scraped the barrel of all the really good ideas. So we're going to a really simple idea this week. I thought for a hot second about running it back with candy, but I didn't want to do that. So this week, we've chosen kind of bookending how we started this whole thing with ghost type Pokemon. We're going to bookend it with everybody's second favorite spooky type of Pokemon, dark type Pokemon. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to end it. Quite frankly, we did Ghost earlier on, but Dark are really like the spooky ones. So I'm excited. Would you like to kick it off, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. I will kick it off. And there is a decent amount of dark type Pokemon to choose
There's
from. So I
so
was kind of
many.
worried
There's
this
so many.
yeah, I was kind of worried it'd be a bit of a lull here, but we're going to find some fun ones. So,
Well, there's a lot of variants of original ones that I think are really cool. So go ahead, kick it off. Let's hear it.
all right, I'm going to give you one that might be near and dear to your heart, George. Everybody's favorite gem eating freak. Are we squawking or seizing Sableye?
Sableye. I think Sableye's got a cool name. It's a cool little dude. Yeah, I'm squawking him. I like Sableye. Broken card in TCG. Yeah, we'll squawk Sableye. I always like him too, like in Scarlet and Violet when you go in that little like rocky area and you see him just like moving around
Yeah.
like a weirdo. You always just go, I'm gonna catch this guy. Yeah, we'll squawk Sableye. That's a good one to start there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go some crazy ones here. I'm gonna go off the wall type stuff. All right. Let's start with um, Mega Tyranitar.
Specifically Mega
The
Tyranitar?
Mega, yeah, specifically, yes.
Oh god, like the weird like antler
Yeah,
midsummer looking guy.
I
Ugh.
know. I told you I'm gonna come hard in this session.
Ugh, oh boy.
Pause.
God, I have to look up a picture. Oh god, he looks so stupid, man.
Yeah, he's
Like
so stupid.
because specifically Mega Tyranitar, I have to seize it. Just
Yeah,
from a design standpoint.
he
Regular
looks like crap.
Tyranitar, he looks like crap. Regular Tyranitar is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. This is an abomination. I just don't like the way he looks. I think
Yeah,
Mega Tyranitar in its time in VGC was very good. But my God, I can't look at this thing for much longer. I hate it.
yeah. I'm
And I
with
think
you.
they're gonna bring it back.
Oh, they definitely are. But I would have seized it as well. Yeah, Tyranitar, awesome. Mega Tyranitar. What were they thinking?
Yeah, they should have stopped while they were ahead. All right, here we go. If we're gonna get weird, I'm gonna give I'm gonna toss it right back in your court here, pal. Are we squawking or seizing Guzzlord?
Oh, Guzzlord. What a creep that guy is, huh? He's kind of scary.
Dark Dragon type.
Yeah,
Interesting type.
I don't like the cut of his jib, to be honest with you. I'm not really a fan of the beast Pokemon either, to be completely fair.
Some of them are kind
Um,
of cool, but Guzzlord's a little yikes.
yeah, I don't really know what his face is either. Is it the
Like
thing at the
he's
top, or is it like his belly?
I don't
Or-
know. Have you ever heard what his cry sounds like in the anime?
No, but I want to hear it now.
Uh, yeah, I highly recommend googling it. I'm gonna put I'm this is an editor's note for me. I'm gonna edit in like a sound clip of what it sounds like in the show. It is one of the most jarring and horrifying things I've ever heard in a Pokemon anime. It is like obscene.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna seize it because I can't imagine it being anything good. So yeah, we're seizing Guzzlord to the fullest. Screw that guy. All right. I got a cool one. I got one that's cool. Morpeko, Squawk, or Seize, one or the other. The full belly mode or the hangry mode.
Ooh, okay. So we're ranking both of them. I'm squawking both of them. I love the Pikachu clones. I don't care how lazy of a design choice it is.
No, but
Every
you
Pikachu.
have to seize one. You have to
Oh,
seize one.
I have to seize one. All right, if I'm gonna
Yeah.
seize one, it's tough. That's a hard one. I think if I have to seize one, I gotta. What's the one where it's happy? That's the full belly one.
Yeah.
All right, I'll seize the full belly one. I'll squawk
Yeah, that's the right
the
answer.
hangry mode one.
Yeah, the hangry mode one's awesome. In the anime too, that dude just be chomping on
Yeah,
stuff like he's nuts.
yeah, he be hangry, bro. Like you ever been hangry before? It's miserable. Nah,
Every day
I like the
usually.
Pikachu. Yeah, I like the Pikachu clones. So I'll squawk I'll squawk the hangry mode
So,
Morpeko.
so you would squawk both, but you like the hangry mode a little bit better.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna
Perfect.
we're gonna give you some fun ones here, George. Are we squawking or seizing Crawdaunt?
Crawdon. Uh, he's a stupid looking guy too, huh? The rogue Pokemon. 3'7", 72 pounds. Tanky little guy.
Hefty,
Huh?
hefty.
I mean,
Little,
Water Dark is a good typing though.
it is very good.
Introducing Ruby Sapphire. Never played that game. Yeah, screw him. Season that one. We're out. We're out on
Valid,
Crawdon. He wouldn't
valid.
be on my squad. No shot.
Not once, not once.
Not once. Not once. Not never. Um. All right. All right. How about the goat in VGC, Incineroar?
Ooh, this is a controversial choice to many. Many of my VGC friends hate this guy. I am squawking Incineroar. I think he's very cool. I love that he's the heal Pokemon. I love that he's a wrestler. I'm not a wrestling guy, but I think the concept is very funny. Um, and he's a funny character in Super Smash Brothers. He's my
Yeah.
I've been drinking since 3 in the afternoon character, and I'm gonna play Incineroar until my face falls off. He's very, very fun in that concept. So big fan of Incineroar. Squawking till his cows come home.
Yeah. He's cool. He's a cool guy.
All right,
Incineroar.
George. I've given you some bad ones, and that's bad on me. So I'm gonna give you a bit of a layup here. Well, not Sableye's not bad, so I guess it's not all it's not
Yeah.
all miserable. Let's squawk or seize. Ooh, we got some interesting guys here. How about Drapion? How you feel about Drapion? Squawk or seize?
Drapion. That is an interesting one. That was a very broken card in the TCG in that format. The
Miss
Mew
that guy.
Slayer. Um, but he's just like a scorpion, dude. I don't know. It's kind of whack, right?
I didn't think you'd be this out on scorpions.
I mean, he's just like a big scorpion. He's like hunched over. Uh, Drapion. Are you cool? I don't know. You're not really that cool, man. Nah, we're seasoning it. I'm seasoning it again. I'm out. The Ogre Scorp Pokemon. And he's only 4'3". He's not. He thinks he's scarier than he is. He's really not. You know.
That kind of makes him creepier now that I think about it. If he's like shorter than I am, that's horrifying.
Yeah, he would probably mess your day up. Diamond and
1000%.
Pearl came in. Yeah, I'm gonna seize it though. I'm not into it. Not into it. All right, let me give you a weird one then, because you've been giving me weird ones. I give you some cool ones. How about? Oh, this is a weird one. This is really weird. Ash's Greninja. Ash Greninja.
All right, that was a weird one. For those of you unfamiliar, Greninja itself is a dark type Pokemon, but George is specifically asking me on Ash Greninja, the form that Greninja takes on when it has what's the ability? Battle Bond? I forget what it's called.
Battle Bond.
It's
Yeah.
it's broken. It's a broken Pokemon. I think it looks stupid though. I don't like its hat. I don't like I don't like the hair it gets. It's so strange. Greninja is so cool. He's such a cool Pokemon. A cool Super Smash Brothers character, also. Like Greninja, just as a concept, love him. He's one of the coolest Pokemon to ever come to fruition. Famously was added to Super Smash Brothers before they even finalized what his design looked like in Pokemon X and Y. So they had to draw him on a bar napkin to like give the game director an idea of what he would look like. But specifically Ash Greninja, I'm seizing. I'm good, bro. Take that stupid hat off. You look dumb.
He does look dumb.
Not a fan.
Yeah, he's like really creepy, actually. I don't know why they ever thought that was a good idea.
All right, want to do one more each?
Yeah, let's do one more each.
All right. I think we'd be hard pressed if we didn't mention one of the OG goats. Are we squawking or seizing Umbreon?
Oh, Umbreon seizing all day, every day.
You're seizing
Umbreon.
it? You hate it?
Oh, did I say seize? Oh, I meant squawking it.
Yeah.
I've been seizing everything. I'm just like, seize, yeah. No, Umbreon is so cool, man. I imagine you had a pet Umbreon.
I've wanted one since I was a kid. Since I was in the fourth grade, I wanted a pet Umbreon.
Yeah, and in the latest anime, when they have like the Espeon and the Umbreon, when like the sun and the moon come out, like that was such a cool episode too. Yeah, Umbreon's awesome, man. I mean, there's not even so many things you could say why it's awesome. Everybody just knows Umbreon is awesome. You know, Gold Star Umbreon, really expensive card. I've always wanted that card, but Moonbreon, I mean, it's a crowd favorite. Squawking it.
Yep. As someone that played Lugia for a single strike Lugia, I did use Umbreon VMAX, not the Moonbreon one, but I did use one in one of my decks. That was a fun guy. Big fan of Umbreon's just cool. It's a layup.
All right. Last but not least, if I didn't mention this guy, our friend Brown would be very upset. The dual type Pokemon himself, Hoopa.
I am squawking Hoopa. I think Hoopa is silly. I think it's funny. And also, one of my nicknames my gamer handle is Koopa, and one of my friends made my name in a Discord server. We're in Koopa Unbound, so I have a very I have a very strong appreciation for Hoopa, and it was one of the better of the newer Pokemon movies. So we're squawking Hoopa. I'm a fan.
But would you, if you had to pick one, Squawk one, Seize one, Hoopa Confined, the cuter little one, or the Mischief Pokemon, or Hoopa Unbound, the Dijin Pokemon?
Oh, Hoopa Unbound. All day, every day. Yeah. Bro's crazy looking. I'm a fan.
Yeah. Dude's just got arms everywhere.
Yeah. Cool card in TCG.
He has 5 hands?
I think so.
Yeah, it seems weird. He doesn't have 6. He has 5.
Horrifying. Huh. So
horrifying, yeah. That guy. Yeah. And he's 21 feet tall. So
woof. God. Who wants in the Lakers?
I would shit my pants if I saw Hoopa Unbound in real life.
Terrifying.
21 feet, 4 inches. Is that real?
Yeah, see ya. Miss me with that.
That's crazy. It's insane.
Oh, man. All right. So that's it for this week's edition of Squawk or Seize. I will say, George, you did not. I was hoping you would maybe mention one of my favorite Pokemon and give me a layup, but you didn't do it.
Well, I did the Greninja. I know Greninja's my favorite. Tyranitar is one of your favorite. Which one did I miss? Hold on. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Let me look. Let me scan. Oh, yeah. I know which one. Zoroark?
Actually, it was not Zoroark. It
No?
was another one. Same generation, though. You're in the ballpark.
Huh.
You're dancing right
Uh,
around it.
are you talking about?
I have a plushie of this card of this Pokemon.
Oh, Crocodile.
Yeah, Crocodile's one of my
I
favorites.
I forgot you're a Crocodile guy. Yeah,
Yep, one of
Crocodile.
my favorite Pokemon of all time. Crocodile might be a top fiver. He is so cool. I'm a fan.
But he's bad though.
Yeah, I mean he's bad, but he's like bad, but like bad good. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a baddie. It's my goat.
He's a
Love that
bad
guy.
bad man. Bad man.
But yeah, he's a bad man, and I have a stuffed animal. I'm a big fan. But yep, that's gonna be it for Squawk and Seas this week, and I think it's gonna be it for us this week, George. So somehow we were able to make an hour and 15 minutes out of what felt like a very slow news week.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's just always a pleasure talking with you, man. And why don't you let us know where we can find you over on the socials?
Yeah, you guys can find me on socials at Koopa NJ across platforms. I commentate Pokemon every week for the Shuffle Squad. I commentate other games whenever I have time and do so. So check that out. I'm commentating in the Tournament of Doom coming up in a couple of weeks as well.
Very
So that's
cool.
happening on November
Is that the
9th
first
or
time
8th.
is that the first one you've done of that, or is it the
No,
second one?
I've done Doom regionals for a while. So
Oh, you have.
Doom is
Okay,
yeah, Doom's my goat. So anytime I have the pleasure of helping him, I will. So
that's awesome.
check out that stuff. George, where can the people find you?
Over on Twitter on X at PNYBTL Champ. I get my Twitter game back up, and PTCGL. You could check me out there. Send me a friend request and a challenge to help me figure out if I want to play Gardevoir or not. I would appreciate
Save him from himself. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be it for us this week, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you next episode.
Peace.